What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on our Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and we have a fun show today. We're going to get into plenty of day baseball with a lot of games going on right now. We do have our two picks, to which me and Robbie both have a play each. He's going hockey. I'm saying the Major League Baseball with some walks parlay. So I know everybody's excited about that. But what everybody's really here for, we're just going to be honest with ourselves. It's all about TV timeout and checking out Survivor and what happened. I had texts last night from friends, haven't spoke to in a while, about the episode. It was that good. I enjoyed it. Plus, I just had maybe a 30-second story shared with me right before we went live from Robbie about his kiddos. We'll have him share that here in just a few minutes. But let's go ahead and get the day started. There is no recap because honestly, I forgot. So let's just keep this thing moving and bring on Robbie himself. What up, Rob?
What's up, DG? Yeah, I can tell you my play did not hit because Riley Green always sells. Remember that. Riley Green sells for everybody. I think every time I'm on baseball Twitter, everybody complains about that guy. And I just need him to get a hit, not even a home run. So, yeah, sorry.
I think yesterday was the day you had the Austin Riley, or no, who was it?
Alex Bregman and Riley Green. And yeah,
Alex Riley.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. He's a former wrestler. So I remember that for sure. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, we're not gonna talk about the past too much. We're gonna look to the future a little bit. But we do have a lot of baseball going on. My play actually starts, I believe, in about an hour. So I think it'd be best, go ahead and get the show on the road. We're not gonna beat around the bush. We're gonna give you the goodness right off the top. There's no Seabass today, Rob. You go ahead and lead us off. What you got, man?
All right, I'll try to do as good as him and get it in one take. Look, Connor McDavid, anytime goal minus 120. I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of juice for an anytime goal, and you would be correct. But it's the last game of the year. Edmonton's still trying to shore up home ice. They're playing the terrible, absolutely god-awful Vancouver Canucks. And Connor McDavid is 2 goals away from 50 for the season. He even had a quote at the beginning of the year. He says, I want to prove scoring 50 or 60 goals is not a one-off. I've had 50 goal seasons, and I've had a 100 assist seasons, and I like getting the 50 goals even more. Tonight, like I said, he plays the Vancouver Canucks. Connor McDavid has basically put Edmonton on his back since Draisaitl and Hyman went down. I think he goes for at least 1 goal, and I'm even sprinkling on him to get 2 goals. I grabbed that one at plus 425 at Hard Rock. So give me 1 goal, minus 120. There's nothing else on the slate worth watching tonight on the ice. This is a play that I normally wouldn't make throughout the week, but since we're at the regular season, I got to have some action. So Connor McDavid, 1+ goal at minus 120.
Yeah, that's a little light the lamp for everybody. So if you didn't get enough of that, there you go. I'm going to go with the 2+ walks parlay. It's at plus 136 here. And we're going to go with the first game that starts the earliest, and that's going to be the Texas game. We'll go with Jack Leiter. I already like his strikeouts. So on that, I also think he does walk people. He's more of a boom or bust type pitcher. He's the big risk, right, for the big reward. Well, because his ball is whiffable. Is that a good? He gets a lot of whiffs off of a lot of missed swings off of his pitches. But the A's, the really big important thing about this is they've drawn 2.6 walks per game versus starting pitcher in the last 10 games. Leiter, he just gave up 4 in the last game. I expect him to do it again. But Parker Messick, this is a sleeper one. Baltimore, over their just last 10 games, they're averaging 3.1 walks drawn to the starting pitcher. That's 2+ in every single game over the last 10. Parker just gave up 3 and 2 walks in each of the last 2 games. And so because of that, I think both these guys give up 2 walks. I feel comfortable in this one. I think we're feeling good today on these picks. All right. Well, those are our plays. Going a little hockey, going to a little bit of Major League Baseball, but let's get into the games that are happening right now. So the first game that let us off was the Nationals and the Pirates, and I believe we just had a score. Is that right? Yes, Pittsburgh just scored. So it is 4-1, and O'Neal Cruz, your guy, he just doubled off the wall and sent the runners around. So stay tuned for that one. I am on CJ Abrams in this game, which he's 1-for-1 with a walk. We need him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Anything about this game that may be live that you might like?
I don't know about live. I know when I was looking up for some daily dingers this morning, James Wood really popped. CJ Abrams really popped as well in this game. And O'Neal Cruz on Pittsburgh's side popped as well. So I'm hoping Wood can get something going. He's 0 for, I guess he's 0 for 2 right now. But yeah, that's all I saw early in this game. O'Neal Cruz, CJ Abrams, and James Wood. Those are the three I like the most in this one.
All right. Well, that's kind of where we're at. Miss Kim says Detroit game is scheduled for 2:15. That's in a rain delay. Detroit and the Royals. So that game hasn't started. Anything on that game that you're interested in at all?
I didn't, and it was due to the weather. The weather looked terrible when I was overlooking that game, so I just said it was going to be a complete stay away for me.
All right. Well, going back to your James Woods, known lunatic and actor.
That's true.
And then J-Main. It's got to be like J for like Jeremiah. It's not John. He don't look like a John. It looks like a
what about Jermaine? Like Jermaine.
Ooh, that's it. I think yeah. All right. What up, man? The next one is the most boring game of day baseball. This is the worst. All right, day baseball. I'm not gonna say it sucks. Day's baseball is fine, but it's a little warm sometimes. Depends on where the game is. I went to Chicago. Look, you were right with Jermaine. We went to Chicago at Wrigley. Day baseball. A lot of people were actually working on their laptops, which is crazy that they're able to do that. But no runs. San Francisco, to which we had daytime Devers. It's going to be like nighttime because nobody can score when this game ends. Going up against Cincinnati. Like I don't get what's happening in this. There's been 3 total hits in the entire game. So I haven't seen this live to even know if the shadows are that bad. But my God, this is gross.
It's very gross. And it was one of those two where the weather didn't look bad. It was almost 75 degrees. I think the wind was blowing out 12 miles per hour. And daytime Devers is just an auto pick, especially if it's on Thursday. If you can grab it on Thursday, it's even better. So that was more of just what he did for me last year. It seemed like it always came through. But yeah, just an ugly game. Sal Stewart looked good as well, but when does he not this season? The dude's been on fire. Shout out to Scotty for calling him out in the chat yesterday for a home run. So yeah, I thought we would see more runs. Maybe the bats will wake up here towards the end.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. I know for the fans, I hope so as well. All right. We have a Marcell Ozuna home run. He ties it up now 4-4 with Washington. So that game, Marcell, the Big Bear, formerly of the Braves, finally does something this season. I feel like he's sucked all season, but it looks like he's finally done something there for Pittsburgh. So 4-4. That's the kind of game you need. 4-4, bottom of the 5th. Like you're feeling a little bit before. It was 4-0 going to that. So those fans are probably a little bored, but now they're all awake. All right, let's go to this next game, and it's going to be Angels Yankees. Bottom of the 2nd, Angels are leading the Yankees again. The Yankees have sucked this season. I know they're 10-8, and I know the Angels are 9-10, but it just seems like the Yankees have sucked all season long. Anything at all you like about this?
Well, I looked, and of course, Aaron Judge had the glaring numbers, and I thought, nah, he hit one yesterday. I'll back off. It's day baseball. And what does he do? I think first at bat, he goes yard. So I wasn't on this, but when I'm looking at the stats, Oswaldo Pereza, however you say it, he actually has good metrics whenever you're looking up for daily dingers. He went yard for the Angels. So that's just one of those that I'm like, I don't know who that is, and didn't really take a deep dive in there. Maybe I should have. But yeah. The only one on New York was Aaron Judge. I'm staying off Ben Rice today because it's a lefty versus lefty. And of course, he sold for just about everybody yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. But I think when I start seeing so many people like going after the same guy, like that makes me like, all right, I'm out. And that's why I can never go after Shohei, even though I did it yesterday. I believe Shohei, even though he actually never had an at bat at all.
At least you got a void on that one.
It was a void, but like I try to stay away from Judge and Shohei because they're like the 2 most picked people. And then like Yordan Alvarez has been as well, but honestly, he helped us out yesterday with the help of nonsense. And so, so I always try to stay away from those 3 guys in particular, just because it feels like the entire world is on them half the time.
I was going to say Jordan only went yard because it was nonsense's play, because he never goes yard for me or you.
No.
So I think that's the only reason why he went yard yesterday, is because neither one of us actually came up with that. It was all nonsense.
Yeah. And speaking of that, like, I am down with doing something creative with the Daily Dinger. So one, if you have an idea, anybody, like if you're in the chat, if you want to throw in an idea about the Daily Dinger, something we should do, whether it's fun, whether it's crazy, whether it's interesting, or whether it's your picks, if there's something you want us to do, I am down to try things. I know we have Mr. Predicto. That's his Daily Dinger, the Dinger Tuesday. He's not moving from that, but I'm down to get a little creative, because most of the time it's me and Robbie, mainly Robbie, us kind of banging our heads together and trying to figure out what we're doing. And then I try to make the video and come up with all the stats. But besides that, if there's anything you have out there, please, by all means, let us know. I'd love to be able to try it out and have some fun with the Daily Dinger as we go. But coming back to, I believe somebody, I don't know who said it. It might have been Joe. Joe's always here. Where is Joe? Joe, here it is. All right, that Detroit game, going back to that. That's the game that marked a NRFI game, I believe, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
I've watched the video, but I cannot remember. I try to stay away from those from him because it's always a jinx.
Same.
So I'll support him, but I can't remember.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where I'm at as well. All right, let's go to these last two games. Blue Jays, Brewers, mid-third. Looking at this, it looks like the Blue Jays, somebody had looks like it was a sacrifice fly. Yeah, sacrifice bunt to the pitcher. All right, 1-0 in that game. Anything you like there?
Yeah, I loved Vladdy this morning.
Okay.
I thought Vladdy had a really good pitch mix. It looked really strong against Brandon Sproat. The other side, this is where you were talking about Twitter. Everybody and their brothers on Gary Sanchez today. And it looks good. Like, everything for his metrics look great. But I think I've seen at least 7 different people on Twitter with a Gary Sanchez in their ticket. So I stayed off of Gary Sanchez just for that reason. But Vladdy was my favorite on the other side for sure.
Well, Dalton Varsho is a guy who is in fuego right now. And so I started looking up his stats, and my God, like the pitch mix is like his nemesis today. And so like, that's the first thing I noticed with Dalton Varsho is, yes, you're hot, but this pitch mix, like I believe it was the sinker. I can't remember which pitch it was.
Sinker, cutter, and changeup.
Yeah.
It was just all red.
All red. I was like, nope, staying away from you, Mr. Varsho. Because at first, like, I was seeing him, I'm like, dude, there's so much green. His numbers, like, I was like getting hit runs and RBIs over 1.5 for it was like minus 105. And I was like, what is wrong? And so at that point, yes, I tried to make sure that I stayed away from him. But it is 1-0 for the Toronto Blue Jays. In the last game, top of the first, we just started. Top of the first, 1 out, and it is now 2 outs. It is Tampa and the White Sox. So we have Caminero, who just flied out to center field. He is one of the guys that's, I believe, yeah, he's in the Daily Dinger. So anything else besides Mr. Junior Caminero that you like?
No, it was just Junior for me. I looked at Jonathan Aranda, and I backed off of him. I think I just like Junior's stats more, but it was all Junior Caminero on that one for me.
Okay, nice. All right, well, that's all we got. Let's go back to a game that actually just had some run score in it. We just talked a lot of ish about the San Francisco Reds game, and now we're starting to pick up. It's 2-0. It looks like San Francisco, they now scored. Let's see how they've scored. Chapman doubled, and then Lee single left. So just nothing crazy.
Devers called out on strike, so great.
God, stupid Devers. Now it's literally nighttime Devers now.
I know.
Whatever, stupid. We're upset about it. But I do want to bring up one thing. Mark said that his 3-teamer that he has on the video, 2 of the first legs have already cashed. So if you missed it, honestly, you missed the video. Should have checked it out. But the last one is a Baltimore goose egg there, and are they the bottom? I think they're the bottom. Whatever, they're inning. So it is team particular, not the entire inning. So anything else on day baseball you want to hit on before we get to TV timeout? Because I think that's what everybody's here for, right?
I believe so. I think we covered all the bases of everyone I liked anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If you got anything, let us know. But until then, Let's go to Survivor here with some TV timeout. Rob, we saw a lot of Suri in this episode. We saw a lot of Coach in this episode. We saw the middle figure things out. Maybe they're coming together. We saw Izzy kind of be shifty. We did see Joe stand on business and say, this is what we need to do. Overall, just within this episode of Survivor, did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. It kind of was foreshadowing. I kind of had an idea of, especially when he split them into pairs. I thought the people who got voted off, which spoiler 3, 2, 1, Coach and Chrissy, I thought were going to be the ones voted off. As soon as he mentioned pairs, I was like, yeah, they're done. Because the other ones didn't make sense. You had too many critical pieces with them. So that was pretty foreshadowing. And it was a good episode. I had to roll my eyes a lot, but it was a good episode.
Well, on the people getting kicked out, it was either Coach or Chrissy, which not upset. Coach goes home. Coach is annoying. He literally just does nothing for me. It's just he either doesn't talk, and it's so annoying that he doesn't talk because he makes a point to not talk, which is annoying, or he's doing haikus, and that's annoying in itself, or he's doing his little deal. And it's all about Coach. But let's get away from them. And I think in the end of the day, I don't think anybody will really remember what Christy did in the episode because I don't think she was there half the time. Coach is just, honestly, some people love or hate him. He's very polarizing. But I want to talk about the actual play that Rick Devens did. Genius, yes or no?
Yes, because I thought it was so stupid before because nobody caught on to it. I'm like, you did all that work for nothing. And then last night, I was like, okay. But when she asked him, can I see it? And he said no, I would have immediately went ahead and tried to get him voted out if that was the plan from the beginning. I was like, no, I need to see it. I don't believe you. I need to see it. But he did cover himself saying I can only use it for the next one, which means he still gives the fake idol life going into the next one. So yeah, it was a solid move. I'll give him credit. I didn't think it was going to be, but it ended up being really well done.
Yeah, I thought it might backfire on him because people are not trusting him about how he did it. But now I think it will be looked at, in my opinion, if it was me, I'd look at it and be like, all right, you got me. Like, that was good because him changing and saying that it's an idol that you can't play for this tribal, that's smart as well. And because he does allow that idol to cover 2 weeks, which is phenomenal for him, because I think that's very important. So that's one of the best gameplays I've seen in a long, long time on Survivor because when he set it up, left it there for weeks, did not touch it. And then when he really needed it, it was there. So good on him for pulling that out. But
can he be quiet about it and not go blabber to people other than Christian? Christian knows, but is he going to go and tell everybody else? Because if he does that, then it's null and void. It's stupid. Correct. You got to keep everybody else on the edge of their seat with it.
100%. And that's the best thing for us as people watching TV, but also it's the best thing in general. Like we've got to make sure that he keeps it quiet because that will be better TV. But let's talk about the alliances getting exposed because once that happened, conversations started swirling where we had really a live tribal. And so because of that, do you think now people are seeing who's with who? Or do you think that enough people are scrambling so much we don't really know who's with who still?
I think it's pretty well set in stone. The guys like Jonathan and Stephanie, I think they're going to be the next ones out. If they don't win immunity, I think they've been let the middle take over. And I know that's what they were trying to prevent last night with keeping Coach, but I think now it's a full-blown middle will take over, and then they'll just start weeding people out from there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm curious about what happens and why they wouldn't see that the middle would have the numbers at this point. And that's why I know you said that Coach and Chrissy were like that would be the number one picks, but if not, why wouldn't they send out Devens and the other person and just challenge them? Maybe see if they can just split the votes, or because there's too many middle people involved both sides.
Yeah, and I think it's just too many middle people. And then you've also got, like, Christian's not voting for Devens. That's his boy. So he's not voting. And then people who are also in that alliance, I'm sure they talked that out as well. And then I know Tiffany was immune last night. She couldn't get voted out, and so was Joe. But I think Joe had to make that play to keep his game alive. Because if he went the other way, and didn't vote for coaching Chrissy, I think he would be one of the ones on the chopping block next. But now he's kind of saved himself and he can actually keep playing, whereas who is it? Jonathan and Stephanie are probably out.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at. All right, let's talk about Sari, because Sari decided that she didn't want to be picked or play backyard pick 'em where she probably wasn't going to get picked. And she made the excuse that she didn't want to drag down her teammate and all that, whatever. So Sari like puts her name in just like other people did as well. And they drew her to go to Exile Island, to where she then has to see all of these miles and miles long of the beachfront that had just millions and millions of coconuts just laying around. Okay, that's how she made it seem. You shared a story. I don't know if you want to share it again of your kiddos. But what are your thoughts about Sari going to Exile Island and how all of that played out?
I'm sure she's used to never being picked in sports, because I'm sure she dragged every team down from dodgeball to leapfrog in school. So that was probably an easy choice for her. Here's my conspiracy brain working with Survivor. It feels like they're gearing this for her to win it.
100%.
It just feels like it. Like, you tell me, of all those that got picked out, she got picked out. And then you send her to exile in one of the easiest challenges ever to figure out an advantage. Come on. And then, and I'll leave this to the story of my kids. They were supposed to be in bed. John and David were supposed to be in bed. I'm watching Survivor, not paying attention. And then when Sari is looking around, huffing and puffing and out of breath, David couldn't help himself. David yells out, "Why is she out of breath? She's literally just walking on a beach. Get her out of here." And then John, my 6-year-old, comes up with a great question. He goes, "Where's the timer? There was not much sand in that timer. What happened to the timer? How much time did she actually have left?" And I was like, yeah, just stay and watch at this point, because y'all make more sense than I can think right now. So I think it's just gearing for her to win. And then the players as well. I just love Sari this, Sari that. If you're saying that much about one person, don't you think you should probably vote them out?
Right. And that's what I'm thinking is, like, she hasn't done anything on this season, but what she's doing, she's literally just playing friends with everybody. And because of that, that's the most dangerous person, because someone who's a friend to everyone is a friend to all, which means they will get the votes when it comes down to it. They will be able to see that as strategic gameplay, when really she might be a genuine nice person, but my God, like, she's getting everybody's vote because she's never won. So that's like season 50. It's in the hands of the fans. A lot of people love Sari, a fan favorite. Wouldn't that just go play into that, finally getting that monkey off your back? Yeah. Like, that's what it seems to me too. I hate it.
Yeah, and I always hate that she's the only person to play this many times and never win, or she's the best player to never win. It's like, then you're not the best player. You have never won, which automatically means you're not the best player, because you always find a way to screw it up. Right. Now, I can see, now it's 50, so I don't know if they're going to do it the same where you get to the final four and you take somebody with you and then you make two make fire. I don't think she can make a fire to save her life, so maybe you carry her to that part, take the other person, because you know she's going to get sympathy votes, and then see if she can make fire and get put out. That's the only way I see her going home at the rate they're going.
Got it. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and everybody's hating on her already. One, how long was that hourglass? And then how lazy is she? Because those coconuts damn near killed her. And that's what was so funny. And she was like, "I'm getting dizzy every time I got to bend down." My thought was, if you just get on your knees and just crawl to the next one and look and turn it over, you never have to bend down. I know that's big brain thinking, but that's the first thought that went through my head, is like, I'll get down and actually do that. And I don't, we'll figure it out. But either way, that was pretty funny. And Mark's saying that hourglass, the grain of sand for every 5 minutes. So she actually had 4 days to complete the challenge.
Then you have to listen to the motivational music of someone literally walking around. And then they have to show her clips from back in the day where she literally walked on a beam over water. Congratulations. Then her comment about the tribal council from back in the day was, "I don't have these, but I have this." Dumbass, that guy Eric got voted out because he's an idiot, because he gave his immunity out to somebody when he shouldn't have. It wasn't your big brain, it was his peanut brain that got himself kicked out. I'm over her.
I love it. All right. So next week, what are your thoughts? And I have one more question on Survivor, but what are your thoughts
All
for next week? What do we look like?
right. Stephanie goes home because Jonathan wins immunity, and she's the one that gets voted out.
What did we see from the preview? I'm trying to remember now.
They talked about Emily flipping
Yes.
again because that's her last name. I think that's just a smokescreen. I think it's just to keep everybody engaged to think something's going to happen, but I don't think anything's happening. I think the plans are in motion until Stephanie and Jonathan are gone. It's going to be their targets number one.
How many people are left?
I think 11 because I think 13 was left last night, and so I think 11 are left now.
Okay. Yeah. So all you need is 6, and you control everything at this point. And so, who do you think's together? So we definitely have Christian and who's the guy that you like that always finds the Devons?
Oh, Devons, yeah.
Christian, Devons, Emily.
Yeah, if Emily can be quiet. Yeah.
Okay. And then
yeah.
Who are those 3 with?
So they're with Ozzy, Sari, and Rizzo. That's another 3.
That's 6.
That's 6. Then you've got Aubrey, who was paired with Devons last night. So that's 7.
Yeah.
Tiffany and Joe, who were paired together, which now looks like Joe is kind of working both sides. So that gives you 8. Then you got Jonathan and Stephanie. It's 10. So we're missing one more, I believe.
But either way, either way on the numbers, still you're looking at like Joe and Tiffany. They literally you want to make it through to the point of they have to then rely on you because they can keep voting you out and get down to the final 6 and then figure it out. But somebody always branches off and tries to go for that kill on the other side, and that middle splits again. So you have to make it just past that, which I think what you're saying is Jonathan and the other girl, whatever her name is, they actually Stephanie. Yeah. They are the ones that are killed off pretty much, and then you're probably down to like 8-ish, and at that point, then you can split with a 5 or a 4 number depending on how it goes. But there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and I think we saw last week when Sari was crying. I think we now realize that they're setting us up on these previews. They're not going to give us too much, so. Maybe we don't look into these previews too much.
And I joked about it, and that's because it showed her crying. And Sarah goes, "Wonder why she's crying." And I said she probably had to do a physical activity, and she's wore out. And that was before we even knew what this episode was.
So true, so true. All right, well, let's get to my last question about Survivor. All right, so you just mentioned it. There was 4 people that go down to the final, and then 2 have to go make fire. Mm-hmm. I want to know. You have these people in front of you. You just rattled off the names because that's who you are. And I have no clue, but like maybe 3 or 4 of their names. If you had to pick 3 people to go to the final 4, whatever, if you got a choice to pick 3 people to go to the final 4 with you, you then have to say you're taking 1 with you and then 2 make fire. Who would those other 3 and how would you split them?
Okay. So if I'm taking somebody with me, I'm probably taking Aubrey. She seems to be less liked by everybody else. So I'll probably take Aubrey with me. If Sari is there, I'm making her make fire. But I got to make her make fire against somebody else who I think I can beat. So I would probably say Sari makes fire and against Rizzo, because a lot of those people don't know Rizzo that well yet.
Okay.
Now that it would be kind of tough depending on his gameplay, which he is playing a great game right now. But I think saying I'm a veteran, I've been there before. These people know me. I would probably take Rizzo and Sari to make fire against each other.
That's okay. I like that. I think the Sari thing is fine. I think the only issue is Rizzo, but I do like your explanation. I just like to ask. I think that's an interesting way to look at it, because at the end of the day, if you're ever in that predicament, you have to make those choices. I think any of them could really beat you depending on what you have, but also how good they can spin stuff. I don't think Rizzo's a good enough talker to be able to spin it necessarily. We saw that kind of in his season where he wasn't the best of talker. So I think we'll be all right. But Rizzo's grown on me. Even though he's teamed up with Sari, Rizzo's grown on me, and I hate it.
Yeah. That's my only knock against him. I'm like, why? Of all the people. But it's smart. I mean, what he's doing is smart. But, yeah, I'm like, why? Maybe he'll backstab her the way he did in his season.
That's what I'm hoping. We'll see. All right, let's get to these day baseball games. I'm gonna give us an update and we'll get out of here. It looks like we're 5-5 now in this game. Let's see what's happened. Griffin tripled to left. Griffin was the guy they just signed for that big contract and called up, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
Connor Griffin.
Is that Connor Griffin?
I think that's right.
Okay.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So just okay, he just got thrown out at home plate. So that's interesting. All right, the Giants now are 3-0. And so Schmidt single to center, Lee scored. So now going top of the 8th again. I wonder who's coming up. Can we see who's coming up?
It's not gonna be that Giants game.
So yes,
it's going to be Bailey. Bailey's coming up next. So you got Patrick Bailey, and then you got the start of the rotation again with Arez, Adames, and Devers.
All right. So Devers got one more chance. Away team, he's definitely getting one more.
Getting one more. Yeah.
All right. And so now let's go to, looks like Miss Kim just says 6-5 now in the Pittsburgh game. 6-5. I don't see
mine
that.
hasn't updated yet.
Yeah. So if it does, but he got thrown out at home plate. So maybe that's controversy. Maybe she's seeing it differently than we do. I don't know. We'll see. Blue Jays still 1-0. Rays, White Sox, nothing happening there. Scotty wants to know if he missed Survivor Talk. Brother, we about to end the show. So yes.
Yeah. Just hit that rewind button.
The great thing about this is you can always go rewind it for sure. But it looks like, I'm not sure. It shows 5-5 on mine. I'm not sure what's happening there, but it looks like he got thrown out at home plate, but maybe there's a review. So we'll figure it out one way or the other. Anyway, make sure you go check out the videos that we're putting up. I'm going to put up a NBA video today to make sure that we have that enough time for it to be, because the next games are Friday, which should be interesting. The last NHL games of the season. Is there anything people need to pay attention to? Or is it just like a throwaway game? Nothing matters.
Other than my Connor McDavid play, that's the only thing that anybody cares about in that game. And they're trying to win home ice throughout the playoffs. So Edmonton is going to actually play a little bit tonight. A win will solidify home ice. But no, I wouldn't bet much tonight on the ice. I went with Connor McDavid anytime goal at -120, which in the regular season I never would have bet that. But with only one game and everything on the line, I think it's a solid play.
And explain to me real quick, who are the Ducks going to play?
In the playoffs?
Yeah, because I'm hearing it's either Avalanche or is it Edmonton?
It depends on Edmonton tonight. So there's a few scenarios where if Edmonton loses, it could be – it's all depending on Edmonton tonight. For sure.
All right.
So I couldn't tell you until Edmonton's games are over.
All right, so explain me this. Who do I need to cheer for? I need the Ducks to have the better, easier matchup.
It's not – well, honestly, you don't have to play the Stars or the Wild. So as long as you can avoid the Avalanche, you're solid. I think Utah and Vegas, I think, are playing each other.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's either going to be Edmonton or it's going to either be the Kings, Edmonton, or Colorado. You don't want to play Colorado. That's the one you don't want to play. The other ones should be fine.
So it's the 2-3. So, okay. So pretty much 2, 3, and 4 have not figured themselves out, I guess, on that side.
Correct.
I don't know. I don't know who to cheer for.
And Nate's talking, your Ducks are limping into the playoffs. Maybe it's smoke screen. Maybe they're making everybody feel, like they're not on their game. But
have you seen Mighty Ducks, Nate?
Yeah.
You know how this goes. It's fine. Just write us off. We have a chance, Joe. Enough of that.
Yeah, got more of a chance than my Preds do.
Yeah. Thanks, Nashville. All right, that's all we got. Thank you all for hanging out with us today. I can't wait for the Ducks to get the first upset in the first round. We're going to take down some Oilers or some Avalanche people, which maybe those are the Yeti type people. I don't know. I like Yetis. They're pretty cool to me. But anyway, we're going to continue on this day. Check out our videos as we have those up with the Daily Dinger as well as the picks. I'm going to put up another one later today and have that up. And then tomorrow we'll all three be here rocking and rolling on a Friday show. And we'll continue this thing as we always do. It's a lot of NBA tomorrow, plus hockey's going to start over the weekend. So we'll have some new videos and stuff coming out. And that's been honestly, I know a lot of you are the OGs that watch this on the live basis. One, tell your friends. Two, thank you for watching our videos and supporting them, because the videos have been crushing it lately with a lot of new people subscribing to the channel, which is always nice for us to get over here. But that's all we got for Rob. I'm DG. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow.